Namaste, my friend. Welcome to Bhakti Yoga Conference here hosted at Harvard Divinity School. Our theme of this session is grace in an age of distraction. There's definitely no shortage of distractions these days, and such an opportunity for grace. My name is Happy Jack. I'm the founder of Happy Jack Yoga and a Master Divinity student here at Harvard. And really, our intention was to bring together prominent voices in the field, in the community of Bhakti, to share their wisdom with all of us. We have scholars, we have monks, we have musicians, we have people from all walks of life. And today, a very special guest, someone who has dedicated their life as a brahmachari monk. And really, our hope is that, we can all walk away with this, with inspiration, with ideas of ways to incorporate Bhakti Yoga into our lives. As of now, we've got over 1,900 registrants for the program. Of course, a smaller subset of us here in Zoom. But, for those of you who are here live with us, for those watching the recording, thank you so much for being here. We have a very special guest today, very special in the community of Bhakti and very special for myself. So I will spotlight him as we read a bio. Let's get His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu on the line here. I'll read a bio. So Radheshyam Prabhu is a distinguished spiritual leader, educator, and author. An alumnus of IIT Mumbai, he graduated at the top of his class with a Master of Technology degree. After working as a senior research fellow and a mechanical engineer, he embraced monastic life in 1994, dedicating himself as a full-time brahmachari monk. In 1995, he was assigned to ISKCON Pune, where he has served as the temple president for 3 decades now, leading a vibrant community of around 6,000 members. Maybe it's more than that now. This might be an old bio. In 2000, Radheshyam Prabhu founded the Vedic Oasis for Inspiration, Culture, and Education, or VOICE. This is a youth initiative aimed at imparting spiritual wisdom and cultural values to students and professionals. Under his guidance, VOICE has expanded to over 100 centers in India and more than 50 centers in Bangladesh, influencing thousands of young minds. Just incredible. A prolific author, he has compiled a 5-volume series titled Essence of Gita, and authored books such as Stress to Smile and the Discover Yourself series, which blend scientific and spiritual insights. His seminars on topics like stress management, proactive leadership, and time management have been well received in academic institutions, including IITs and NITs, as well as corporate settings. In 2012, he oversaw the establishment of the New Vedic Cultural Center in Pune. This is a landmark project featuring temples, guest accommodations, educational facilities, and community services. The center serves as a hub for spiritual learning and cultural activities, attracting visitors and devotees from all around the world. Through his unwavering dedication, Radheshyam Prabhu continues to inspire individuals globally, promoting a life enriched with devotion, knowledge, and compassion. My goodness, and there's so much more that we could say about Radheshyam Prabhu. And I just want to say a few words myself. It's true. You are inspiring individuals globally. We met here in Boston just about 2 years ago, and you've become one of my closest Shiksha gurus. For those who don't know that term, that's a teacher that we look to for spiritual guidance. And we met about 2 years ago. We sat down on the floor. We have photos of that first moment that we met. And you were so generous with your time. You answered so many of my questions, so many of my areas where I was confused and curious. You really helped me with that. Since then, we've been on retreat together in New Vrindavan. And because, you brought us there for a beautiful retreat, now our students are coming to New Vrindavan in June this year for a retreat. Last summer, we met at Govardhan Eco Village. Again, we had some beautiful interactions, and again, our yoga community is coming there in November. And you've just been a huge inspiration in my life and for so many here in Boston as well. My friends, if you are ready to get started with His grace, Radheshyam Prabhu, please throw your arms in the air and loudly chant, Haribol. Amazing. We'll just get you off of mute. Prabhu, welcome. It's so
Hare
great.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's so great to have you here with us.
Thank
Prabhu,
you.
would you, so there's so much that you could share with us. And I'm going to say this now and I'll say it again at the end. There's an incredible YouTube series that Radheshyam Prabhu has put together. It's called Discover Yourself. And it's so comprehensive. And I feel like it answered all of my questions. So we're going to share a link to that. So there's so much that you could teach on, and we have a limited amount of time. But even before we get to that, Prabhu, could you share a little bit about what brought you to Krishna consciousness? Because certainly, when I see you, I see you're this spiritual leader that's been doing this for decades. What could give us an idea? What brought you to Krishna consciousness initially?
Yeah. I have been searching after truth by going to various different organizations. One of the things that I have observed in many organizations is something like a self-denial. Don't see bad, don't hear bad, don't speak bad. So I didn't like that because God has given us senses. He must have some purpose for our senses. So in my search, when I came to this Krishna consciousness movement, I found something interesting. We can use our ears to hear about God. We can use our mouth to sing about God. We can use our hands to clap and sing His glories. We can use our eyes to see Him. We can use our legs to walk to the temple. And we can eat the food offered to Him. So I like this because all the senses should be dovetailed in Lord's service and they need not be denied. So this is one thing I liked very much in the very early days. And another thing I liked very much was that I should not just think of getting rid of suffering in this world and going back to God and be happy myself. But I should do something for the children of God in this world by reaching out a sublime message about God to all my brothers and sisters. Because all the creatures in this world are my brothers and sisters, and everyone is related to God, and therefore everyone is related to me too. So therefore, I have no enemies in this world. Everybody is my friend. Everybody is a child of God. I am also a child of God. So this I liked very much because this is called as love agape or universal love that unites all the living beings under one supreme being, the supreme controller. So I like this idea that I don't want to go to Himalayas and be a lonely yogi, that I only take care of myself, my own liberation or deliverance. I would like to live with all the people in this world and take many, many more with me. So these two were the things that I was very impressed with this moment.
Beautiful. I love that. And would you share with us how, maybe this is, there's so many ways that you could answer this, but how has the practice of bhakti yoga impacted your life? My understanding, I've heard that even when you were a small child, you were not a small child like me. I was getting into mischief. And my understanding is you were quite clear at an early age that this is something, spiritual life was important for you. This is something you want to commit your life to. That being said, what have you seen in your life? Like, how has the practice of bhakti impacted you?
Yeah. Actually, the meaning of the word yogi means one who is able to control one's senses at will. That's the definition. A yogi is one who can control one's senses at will. So in this assembly, there are many of your students, Happy Jack. So the students are here, I'm sure. So all of your yogis and yoginis, you all have taken out time to learn pranayama and asanas and everything which you have been doing. And therefore, you are a very appropriate candidate to appreciate this point. What Lord Krishna says in the 6th chapter, last verse. He says, when a yogi reaches his maturity, so at that point of time, one awakens love for God. So this is something I very much appreciated in my practice of different paths, like for example, path of karma, jnana, yoga, and finally bhakti. Path of karma says, use your senses to serve God and offer the fruits to Him. Path of jnana says, use your mind to analyze and think about what is temporary, what is permanent, and all that. And the path of Ashtanga Yoga teaches, use your intelligence to focus on Lord in the heart. And path of Bhakti teaches, give your heart to God out of pure love. So karma is a path of action. Jnana is a path of analysis. And yoga is a path of focus. Bhakti is a path of love. So I fell in love with the path of love because I felt when heart goes to God, intelligence, mind, senses, all of them run behind the heart. And I felt that this is a wholesome path which blossoms our body, mind, soul, all the three. It's a holistic path. Other paths I felt are teaching a part of it, whereas the Bhakti path teaches me the whole. And I could see it happening in my personal life too. As a bud blooms into a fully blossomed flower. Like that, the nature of the Bhakti path is to blossom our personality, blossom our heart, to broaden our perspective and reach out to all the souls. And we become free from enmity, envy, competition. We become free from malice towards others. The more we love God, the more we love all. Does it make sense, Jack?
It does. It makes perfect sense. Maybe one more question. I mean, there is so many I could ask, but some of us are newer on this path of bhakti. Some of our students from Happy Jack Yoga, some of the Harvard students, and sometimes we can have doubts or insecurities or uncertainties. And what would you suggest for us, as we're discovering this, we're reading Gita, we're meeting great personalities like yourself and like the other speakers, and there's something being awakened in our heart, but then also maybe from past conditioning or society expectations, there's also doubts and insecurities. What would you suggest for us as we kind of move forward on this path? How can we handle those uncertainties?
One very important thing is we definitely deal with utmost respect with our mother, with our father, with our friends, and everybody has we give everybody their space to do what they wish, and we don't interfere with others. But when it comes to our own choice, we can use our intelligence to first of all understand whether what we are trying to learn and grow in, is it universally applicable. For example, the sun is addressed by many names in different languages, in different places, isn't it? But the object is only one. Similarly, if I pinch myself, if somebody pinches me, I'll feel pain. If I pinch Jack, you will feel pain. It's a universal law. Anyone you pinch, they feel pain. Similarly, all across the globe, you will see people don't like selfishness, but selflessness is most appreciated. So, therefore, if there is a path which is universally applicable to all, and if it is acceptable by people of all backgrounds, then I won't hesitate to adapt it, accept it. First, acceptance from our own side comes first. And then how do we explain it to our others? How do we explain it to our friends, our parents, our society, and other people? So today you will see the path, the Krishna consciousness movement is all across the globe. It's open to all. People from Europe, people from Asia, people from America, people from Australia, all over. Because they found that this path is very universally applicable, and it teaches in such a manner that any human being from any walk of life can understand and adapt it. Because the definitions that Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON Society, gave are very elementary and easy to appreciate. You name it, you name a definition, like he says, God is the operator of the cosmic machine, and you are the operator of your bodily machine. So he makes it as easy to understand this point. Similarly, he says, you are a small, tiny controller. God is the ultimate controller. You are controlled by many above you, but God is not controlled by anyone or anything. And what is definition of sin? forgetting God, disobedience to God. So many things in this way, when he explained that everybody can appreciate. I felt that it's universal, this knowledge. So when it is universal, we accept it. At the same time, we don't force anyone to accept it. It's ultimately everyone's choice. And there are people in the path of karma, jnana, yoga, bhakti, and there are also all across the globe. We respect all the religions because all the different religions and the religious books also written by in all across the globe, people practice. People actually have come to understand one thing, that all of us are like children of one supreme being, and by living a lifestyle in accordance with the universal laws, we can be truly happy right now and forever. So in this way, I feel that in my observation, I also have adopted many paths before I came to this. I tried different things. Finally, I felt that this path of love or yoga of love is the ultimate path.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm one more question. So sometimes, some of us have come across, of course, there's Bhagavad Gita, some of these foundational texts, and then we might come across Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, and there's like 64 ways of practicing Bhakti yoga. There's a lot. If we were to keep it really simple, what would you offer for us if we want to get started? We want to cultivate a sincere Bhakti practice. And maybe we're not ready to commit to 16 rounds per day yet. But what would you suggest for us, just like foundational, to begin practicing Bhakti yoga?
Very, very easy. I would suggest a ABCDE formula. A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita, C for chanting, D for devotional diet, and E for engaging in voluntary service. So I will say one line about each of this. A stands for association. In this world, you will see, like we say, birds of the same feather flock together. You see parrots fly with parrots, crows live with crows, swans live with swans. Similarly, those who are eager to cultivate divine assets and live a divine life now, so that they can attain a divine platform, they need association of people who are like-minded. Like here is a platform that Harvard and you have collaboratively created for like-minded souls who are seekers of truth. So this type of associations are very valuable. So I suggest that take once in a week at least association, either through a YouTube lecture or a personal association with devotees of God. So at least 1 hour in a week at least. And B for Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This Bhagavad Gita is written in a very lucid, very nice manner. Just 1 page a day, daily. And chanting the names of God. So when we chant Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Florida University has conducted a research on many students, and they have come up with a research thesis by David Brian Wolf, that this chanting reduces stress, it eliminates depression, it removes bad habits and addictions, and there are also videos published on this. So I would suggest all of you, just give a try, uttering this mantra 108 times a day. It takes you about 10 minutes only. Just do it for a week. And in case you don't get any benefit, you can give it up. Try for a week. So that is chanting. And what is the meaning of chanting? Oh Lord, purify me, uplift me, accept me, and put me back in my original position, because I am originally happy living being. But now I have put myself in a position of suffering. So please bring me back to my original nature. So in this way, that's a prayer. And then D for devotional diet. So whatever we eat, we take a moment to thank God for a moment, and then we accept it. Then the food becomes divine, because you're taking out a little time to think of the person who's supplying it. And E for engaging in some voluntary service. Like right now, Jack, you are a student of Harvard Divinity School, and you have your course to be done, and you are also having Happy Jack Yoga Society. You have a lot of things to do for many students. But despite your very busy lifestyle, you have taken out time for organizing this wonderful conference for so many days with so many speakers and for so many students. So this is one such voluntary service I'm talking about. Every one of the students here, according to capacity, if you take out a little time for God, you can do many things like this. So even if you make one poster and give for a program, which is going to be talking on such subjects like this, you're doing a great seva. It's called a seva, we call it. Seva means voluntary service done uh, to express our affection to God. So these are 5 things: ABCDE: association, Bhagavad Gita, chanting, devotional diet, engaging in some voluntary service. So is it easy, Jack? You feel it's easy to start with?
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was so helpful. I just want to say, thank you for that. That framework is so helpful. And on the last one, the service, thank you for your kind words. I can just share for myself, helping to create this conference right now. This is the most demanding time of my life. My schedule has never been this packed. And at the same time, this is the most nourishing. This is like I'm so lit up inside, so spiritually and inspired. And so it's nice to hear that what you're saying, this engaging in service, it's not just like, oh, we should volunteer our time because it's the right thing to do. It truly is spiritually nourishing, even if it means a little bit less sleep or a little bit less free time or whatever. And thank you for just reading your bio, which is only a fraction of all of the services that you have done. And thank you for taking your time to be here with us today, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would you maybe if we shift to your discover yourself discussion, and if you'd like, I'm sorry, I jumped right into Q&A. If you want to open with an invocation, whatever you like. And then also as you begin sharing, I know when we're together, you like doing interactive. So if you like, I can be here and we can be here to answer questions, however you'd like to deliver.
Yeah, I will open with an invocation and I'll speak for a few minutes and then we can take some questions, okay?
Beautiful.
Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhaved. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous become tranquil, may the tranquil become free, may those who are free set others free. Om ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya Chakshuhuvanmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I bow down to my spiritual master at his lotus feet, by whose grace my eyes were opened and I was brought out of the darkest of the ignorance of this world, and I brought to the light of transcendental knowledge. I am eternally grateful to him. And whatever I learned from him, I'm going to share a small bit of that knowledge with all of you today. So, very happy to be here with minded souls coming together in a gathering like this. And the topic that was given to me by Jack was discover yourself. I'll speak about 20 minutes or so, and then I'll take some questions after that. So, in the Gita, Lord Krishna talks 5 subjects, and first 3 of them I'm going to tell you, share with you briefly. He talks about Ishvara, Jeev, and Prakriti, the supreme controller of this world, and Jiva is souls like all of us, and Prakriti is matter. You will see in this world, not a single machine operates on its own. Every machine has an operator. Say, for example, you take a drone camera flying up. Some child may tend to think that it's flying on its own, but you know very well someone is operating it. Whether it is a drone camera, whether it's a plane flying in the sky. For that matter, any machine requires an operator. If a fan is rotating, somebody has switched it on. You will always see that a conscious living entity is behind every machine where there is a movement. So the cosmos being a very huge machine with multiple things going on. Think for a moment. Is it not childish to think such a thing is going on its own? One time, Srila Prabhupada, when he was in London, he showed his devotees 2 houses. In one house, he showed There were leaves fallen in the aisles. The window glass was broken. The house was very dusty and unkempt. Then he took the stick and showed the other house. The house was littered up, and the aisles were neat and clean. The garden was neatly trimmed, and there was a light switched on inside. Uh, and then Sri Prabhupada asked them, what is the difference between these two houses? Everybody agreed that in this house, somebody is living, because this home seems to be lively. And in this home, it appears dead. No one is there, they said. And then Srila Prabhupada brought them to another question. What do you think about the world in which we are living in? You see, is it lively world or is it a dead world? Think for a moment. You see, when you go in the field in the morning, you see the sun shines, the clouds shower, the flowers blossom, the crops grow, the fruits ripen, the seasons change, the birds are flying, the human beings are moving here and there. So the whole world is a lively place. How is this lively place, all these things moving? How is it moving? Just like if you take a paper with some iron filings, and then you take a magnet and you rotate it, all the iron filings are going to move because the magnet is causing that movement, although we don't see the magnet. Similarly, he said, everything is moving in this world, but behind this movement in this world, there is a great supreme controller who is making all these things happen. He's preparing fruits and berries and giving us. He's giving us vegetables and grains and giving us. He's causing the cloud shower for us to have drinking water. Without all these natural agents which he's operating, we won't be able to fulfill our necessities of life, like food, very basic needs like food and water and everything. Now, some scientists may argue that, oh, it's all happening from nature. Why do you bring in a God? They may say. But you see, like in India, we have seen that a potter has a wheel and he makes a pot using that wheel and he arranges all the pots for sale. So when somebody looks at all the pots and says that these pots have come from this wheel, yes, it is indeed true. They have come from the wheel. But the wheel doesn't produce the pots on its own. There is a potter who uses the wheel to make the pots. Similarly, it's God who uses the material nature, which is an instrument, to make all the bodies of all the living beings like all of us. There are millions of species wandering in this world and millions of phenomena happening in this world. So he is a personality who is using the nature, which is an instrument. Just like one of you plays a guitar very sweetly. I am not going to appreciate the guitar. I'll be appreciating you because guitar is only an instrument and you are the player of the instrument. We appreciate the player, not just the instrument. Similarly, nature is the instrument with which everything is being produced. But there is a person who is behind this machine of this nature. If somebody says nature is the producer of everything, then all the machines have to act on their own without anyone operating them. Show me one machine. You can't show one in this world. Any machine operating on its own. In thermodynamics law, in the first law, in one of the laws of thermodynamics, it says PMM, perpetual motion machine. There is no such machine. It's a hypothetical machine because there is no machine that operates on its own. There's always an operator. So this brings us to the first point. There is a great controller of this beautiful cosmos, which he has created and he has set it in motion. And all of us, we are all his part and parcels, his children. And we are similar in quality to him. That's what is explained in the Gita. For example, say you have a gold mountain and you have a golden ornament, say a gold ring or a gold earring. So a gold ring is also gold. Gold mountain is also gold. Although both are gold, this is small quantity of gold, that is big quantity of gold. Similarly, all of us living beings have a similar nature like God, but we are very tiny. He has absolute control and we have minute control. We don't have unlimited control. For example, a president of a country has control only within his country. He cannot control the other countries. Similarly, a person who is a CEO of a company, he can control his own company. He can't control the other companies. Similarly, say you own a house, you have your family members, and within that house, you have some freedom. And we don't interfere with other people's homes because there somebody else is controlling. So we all have some limited range of control. Whereas the Supreme Lord or God, he has unlimited control. He's the creator of millions of universes. And he has control over everyone and everything. And we have control over limited jurisdiction. Now, what is the difference between him and us? Like, for example, he made Saturn, Jupiter, big, huge planets. And we may make some Sputniks. He has made oceans. We make swimming pools. He makes huge moon. We may make a dome light which looks like a moon. So he does great things. He has made big eagles. We make aeroplanes. He has made many things, great things. We try our best to imitate whatever best we can. We try to do our best. But we are tiny. Being children, we have limited capacity to do some things. So how do we do things in this world? We are certainly superior to matter. For example, America was practically empty at one time. When Europeans came to America a few centuries ago, then they developed America. Now we have smooth roads, tall towers. We have such communication systems, transport systems, so many things. It's all developed by the Europeans who came in, which means the living beings like all of us, we have the ability to manipulate matter and create buildings, create machines, make computers, make rockets, make aeroplanes. Yes, we are in control. We have some control over the matter. But we need to remember a very important phenomenon. We don't have absolute control. We have limited control. Just like you see, if this is a cow or a bull tied to a pole, the bull has this much freedom to radius to move around. It can move around only that much radius. It cannot go beyond this. In the same manner, every one of us have some jurisdiction and we can't act outside that, as I was telling you. So, in the Gita, Lord Krishna says, the cosmos is the machine beyond which God is the operator. And this body is also a machine behind which we are the operator. Now the question arises, why has God put all of us here? Why has he at all created this world? And there is so much of matter here in this world which we are manipulating and doing many things. We are manipulating matter and making computers. We are making buildings. We are utilizing them for enjoying in this world. You will observe very easily in this world, there are two types of natures. One nature is to serve, another nature is to exploit. So these two natures are observable in this world. In the Gita, Lord Krishna says that the living beings who have come here, many of them want to claim proprietorship and increase their proprietorship. Like you see, Alexander was going all across the globe. And at the age of 29, he practically was covering the whole world because he was trying to become proprietor of more and more. So people have a tendency to own lands and own people and gain control over them. Many countries want to expand their domain. Everybody has a tendency to take charge of people and control them. So that type of nature has been seen. Exploitation. Needless to say, you all know a lot about this. We have seen in this world. But in Gita, Lord Krishna says, the one who knows that God is a supreme being, he is the owner of everything in this world. And we are his children, we are his servant. We are supposed to serve and not exploit.
Radheshyam Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna is providing us this opportunity to continue our japa practice and practicing tolerance, right? For those of you who know the Shikshastakam, the 8 verses that Lord Chaitanya produced, the Trinada Sunichena Taror Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari, where we get to practice tolerance, we get to practice humility, and right now we get to practice tolerance and flexibility. And I'm curious, does it ever happen to anybody else in life where life doesn't go as planned? Is that anybody had that experience? Oh, okay, it's not just me. And that's that's part of this opportunity as practitioners of Bhakti yoga. Seems like we just keep getting given opportunities to practice. Felicia's saying, okay, there's some fun chat. Let's take another share. Well, just until Radheshyam Prabhu comes back in. It's beautiful. We got to hear from Ian and Heather. Let's get Sarah and George on the line. You guys are just in my top here, on my top row. Something that resonated with you, or even question if there's a question that's been coming, because then we can.
Exactly. Yeah, we can always talk. I mean, he seems to be a very knowledgeable chap, so we're pleased. I mean, the 5 things. It's great. I'm doing all of those. So hooray! Tick for Sarah. And the control. It always comes back to control. Just reminding ourselves how little control we have, and but the relief in knowing that somebody's in charge, even if I'm not. That's something that I've taken a lot out of Bhakti specifically, and the more people that talk about it, the more relaxed I get about it. So that's great.
I liked his explanation in the beginning about what attracted him to Bhakti, and the fact that he was looking at yoga and withdrawing the senses versus Bhakti engaging.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we've got you back, Prabhu. Can you hear us?
Maybe not.
Can you hear us, Radheshyam Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear him. He can hear me.
Yes. You can just get him to talk.
Yeah. But yeah, Sarah and George, thank you so much for reflections. Let's send the love, high vibes. Kent, UK, representing.
I can hear you, yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome back, Prabhu. Hey, this is Krishna is giving us opportunities to practice tolerance and practice our japa.
Very smart. Yeah, actually, I have changed the computer now. There was one computer was getting heated up, so I have changed it to another one. Now I can take questions, Jack. Now it's time now. So another 15 minutes I can take questions. If anybody wishes to ask me.
Beautiful. Yeah. So if questions come up, please, raise your virtual hand. I mean, I would say, you gave us a nice framework, Radheshyam Prabhu, of the ABCDE, and even what would you say is, I guess I want to ask the question a little bit again, because you've worked with so many youth, you've impacted thousands of youth around Pune, around India, around the world. What have you seen? What has been the result of when you see these young seekers, or for some of us middle-aged, whatever, us seekers, when we start to sincerely practice bhakti and chanting our mantra and reading Bhagavad Gita and associating with devotee and offering our food to Krishna and engaging in seva. So now with that framework, what are some of the results that we see?
The results that I see is like, say someone had a viral fever, after they take antibiotics, in the next 3-4 days you see the person returning back to good health, isn't it? In the same manner, I have observed the students, after they take to the path of Krishna consciousness, they become very healthy in their consciousness, in their body, in their behavior, they get healthy. So there are 3 stages. One is a sickly stage, one is a convalescent stage, one is a fully healthy stage. So the sickly stage is the situation of the people who are souls who are trying to be exploiters in this world. The more they boss over or exploit other living beings, they suffer also and they make others suffer also. And from that stage they come to 0-0, where one becomes free from that sickness, which the jnanis and Buddhists, Jains, they wish to attain, where they want to become free from that tendency and they become peaceful. Then in the positive axis, one becomes happy. Just like a sick person, when he goes to a phase called as convalescent period, when his sickness is over, but he is very weak physically. But after a couple of days, he gets strength. So in the path of jnana, you become relieved from the suffering of the world. But in the path of bhakti, you get nourishment and strength. Just like a person who has crossed the convalescent period also. He has a phase where one can eat very good foods and one can play and one can be very healthy. All right?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful.
I'm going to call on somebody. I'd like to call on a dear friend and longtime member of our community, Chinmayi, who I see here with us. It's such a pleasure to see you. You know, you've been a longtime member of our community. And of course, you know, obviously grew up connected, you know, to the tradition in India. And it's always been an honor for at least myself having you in our community. Do you have either any reflections of what we've heard His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu share, or if you have a particular question? I'm just so happy to see you again.
Oh, thank you so much, Jack. Thank you. I'm just soaking it all in. And I have been involved in the Hare Krishna community in the Watford Temple. It's in ISKCON Watford Temple in London, which is very much closer to us. I volunteered there, but it's just the knowledge and it's just very overwhelming for me. I come from the Sanatan Dharma background, and for something, or you know, Krishna is actually now inviting me, calling me to get to this path, and I just want to be very much open to receiving, and that's what I'm doing. I'm so thankful for this lecture. Very, very grateful. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Radheshyam Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Chinmayi. I love that. I love your openness and your vulnerability. And you've added so much to our conversations and our courses and community over the years. And it's for us, it's just so inspiring that you can also come here and be, because you've taught us a lot. And I'm happy that you can come here to receive so much as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm actually trying to get to the Govardhan Eco Village if I can. So I'll definitely make a journey there. Thank you very much.
Please do. I love it. Well, let's send our love, high vibes to Chinmayi over in UK.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Beautiful.
Oh, I forgot.
Let's see here. We've got a hand up from Panindra. Are you able to come on video? Panindra Kumar. There we go. Oh my goodness, we got a team. I love it. Let's have the three of you. Where are you calling in from, Prabhuji's?
We are from Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Welcome.
Thank you for giving the opportunity, Prabhuji. We are from ISKCON, Hyderabad.
It's a privilege to ask question to His Holiness Radheshyam Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. The question I had is, see, basically we believe in karma, right? So what we do in the past lives will reflecting in the next lives of our lives, right? So what my question is, so when we started to born on the earth, it's on the starting, maybe on the starting birth, does everyone has the equal things so that they started doing the karmas? That was my question. If you understand my question.
I understand, yeah, it's a good question, yeah. You see, when we all came to the earth, say we were all pure originally. And after that we chose to do some good things and some bad things, and then the karmic cycle starts after that. And the karmic cycle is not eternal. The karmic cycle, as you keep reaping the fruits, it gets dissolved. For example, just like -5, -3, -4, like that, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. Your negative account gets dissolved. Similarly, the good that you do also, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that also gets dissolved for a period of time. But the bhakti that you do, that is never lost. That always comes with you. Birth after birth, it is an indeletable, undepletable file. It will go with you. Because it is spiritual. It belongs to the soul. Whereas the good and bad that we do in this world, it gets dissolved over a period of time. Now, let us say that all of us, when we came on the earth, we were originally pure. Then why do we suffer, you may ask it. We suffer because of the choice that we make at that time. Like if someone slaps me, so I slap him back. It's called instant karma. And if somebody eats some heavy food at night, then they get the reaction the next day. And somebody doesn't study well in the beginning of a semester, at the end of the semester when the exams come, they suffer. Or somebody at the age of 20 or 30, they earn a lot of money but they squander all the wealth. Then when they become 60, 70, they suffer. In this way, the results to our actions either comes around a little later, a little later, a little later. In case, let us assume that there are some reactions pending in your account, but the death comes and interferes. Then the balance reactions to be given to you is stored in your mind. So at the time of death, the spirit soul comes out of the body, covered with the mind, and in the mind is stored your good and bad results. And that will be given in the next life. And the next life you get something from the previous life, and then you start accruing more good and bad in that life also. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, Prabhuji. And I have one more big question, Prabhuji. As of now in this life, I'm a son of a real estate. My father is a real estate person, so he does selling and buying of lands. And now I have opportunity to sell and buy the lands using his help. So when we all are born for the first time on this planet, does everyone have the same opportunity to live? That was my
Yes. Everybody has the same opportunity. Everybody has the same opportunity, but like for example, when you go to a college and join first year engineering, say for example, everybody has the same opportunity to be a topper. Everybody has the same opportunity to fare well in the subjects. And the same class teacher is teaching everybody. The same books are available. Classroom is also same. Everything is same. Everybody has the same opportunity in life. And God is kind. He is giving all of us the same opportunity. Only different people use the choice given differently. All right?
all right, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
I have a question.
Nice. I you guys got two now. I want to make sure we get to some of the other ones. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. Let's send so much love, high vibes to all the Prabhujis. Beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us. All right, let's bring it over. We got lots of hands coming up. We probably just have time for one more question. Hanna up in Canada. Welcome.
Namaste. Hare Krishna. I have a question from a newer practitioner perspective. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay. My question is, and I've asked this before during the conference, about the Gita. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can, yeah.
My question is about the Gita, and it was also put in the chat by someone. For us who are new, the Gita can seem a little bit complicated. What is your advice in starting to create a relationship with the Gita?
Yeah, the Gita in the Sanskrit has 700 verses, but Srila Prabhupada has given very lucid commentary to the Gita, in a way understandable to people all across the globe. And I took the same Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and made a course called Discover Yourself, about which Jack was telling in the beginning. It has a very nice PowerPoint show along with videos and everything. So I would suggest you, if you see this Discover Yourself 8-session course, after that, then you start reading Bhagavad Gita 1 page a day. It will be very easy for you to appreciate.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah, and I saw there was questions in the chat as well. Which version of Bhagavad Gita to use? So the best one, yeah, is the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srila Prabhupada. As you say, just the purports are so nourishing and they make it very accessible. But great question, Hanna, because that's, something we hear. There's this term svadhyaya and the importance of developing, a practice of scriptural study, of self-inquiry. And there's something about getting a taste. And I can just say for myself, like the chapter 1 of the Gita, if you just start reading there and there's all these names and these names are very foreign for us in the West, we can kind of get confused. So, I mean, I would say, getting to chapter 2, verse 11, when Krishna starts teaching, I know for myself at one point I got stuck in chapter 1. So but it's a great question, Hanna. Nice. Well, let's send some love, high vibes up to the Great White North, Canada, representing. Thank you. Thank you. And Radheshyam Prabhu, we just have one moment left. Would you, what would you offer with it? What would you leave us with? So here we are, we're hungry. We have a God-shaped hole in our heart. We're seeking this connection with the Supreme. And many of us are new on this path. If you were leaving us with parting words, what would your invitation be for us?
Yeah, actually, as I was telling you, today the topic was discover yourself. See, when I look into the mirror, if I have to see myself, I have to have the sunlight. Without the sunlight, I can't see my face. Similarly, we have to know about God, who is like the shining sun, and then we can see ourselves. Then we can see the world around. And we see the world is a creation of God, and it's a beautiful place for those who align with God's will and conduct themselves in this world. Then this world will turn into spiritual world. So, and today I had a little problem with the system in between, taking breaks in between. But one very important thing I wanted to say was this: like the rainwater which comes from the sky is pure, but when it comes to the ground, it becomes muddy. But it can again be rendered pure by putting in a desalination plant. Similarly, we all have come to this world and we have become a little adulterated in our mind. So the mind can be cleansed by this ABCDE process which we said, and we can bring ourselves back to our original nature, and which is godly nature. Yeah? So God's nature is divine and our nature is also divine. So I would say in parting that let us bring out the angel that is within us and let us drive out the animal within us. And by doing so, let us become healing cells in this world for all other children of God and make our life successful and help others make their life successful too by purifying their heart and going back to God. Thank you. So thank you, Jack, for this opportunity. And you are a friend of thousands of people in the West. And you have been a very expert yoga teacher. And now you have attained the perfection of your yoga by taking to the Bhakti yoga. Because Lord Krishna says in 6.47 in the Bhagavad Gita, he says that those who are yogis, they achieve that, like just like a mango, there's a green mango, there's a ripe mango. So yogi also becomes ripe in his practice, in which he understands what is love of God. So when he begins to appreciate yoga of love and Bhakti yoga, and then he becomes a friend of all. So you are a friend of so many, and you are giving them opportunity to relish this beautiful path of yoga of love. So thank you for the opportunity you gave me for sharing something today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Only by your mercy, Prabhu, by beautiful souls and teachers like yourself. So thank you for your time. Everybody, as we send our love and high vibes to Radheshyam Prabhu, please throw your arms in the air and loudly chant Haribol. Amazing, my friends. Make it an amazing rest of the day, and we will see you soon.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Hare
Namaste.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Love y'all.